Welcome to Midnight Murmur. Here, the night comes alive with chilling tales and spine-tingling stories. If you crave the thrill of the unknown and the eerie whisper of the supernatural, you've found your new haunt. Join us as we dive into the darkest corners of the human mind, unraveling short horror stories that will keep you up at night. Hit that subscribe button, turn off the lights, and let the murmur begin. The silent caller. Jake's life had settled into a comfortable routine until the calls began. Every night, at exactly 2:30 am, his phone rang from an unknown number. Each time he answered, he was met with silence, followed by faint, almost unintelligible whispers. Despite changing his number and even getting a new phone, the calls persisted, each one more unnerving than the last. Desperate for answers, Jake decided to trace the number. His investigation led him to an abandoned mental asylum on the outskirts of town. The building, long forgotten and shrouded in mystery, was a relic of dark times. Armed with only a flashlight and a growing sense of dread, Jake ventured inside. Dust and decay filled the air as he navigated the labyrinthine halls. In a crumbling office, he found patient records and old newspapers. One file stood out, a former phone operator named Alice who had been admitted after a mental breakdown. She had been obsessed with making calls, convinced she could reach beyond the grave. Alice had died under mysterious circumstances, and the asylum staff had buried her records in an attempt to forget the haunting events. Jake's heart pounded as he read the final notes in Alice's file. Patient continues to hear voices through the phone, claims they are calling her back. Last night, she vanished from her room. We fear the worst. The whispers grew louder as he pieced together the tragic story. Suddenly, his phone rang, the familiar unknown number glowing on the screen. Trembling, Jake answered. This time, the silence was replaced by a chilling voice, clear and desperate. "Help me." Jake realized Alice's spirit lingered, bound by her obsession and torment. She was reaching out, seeking someone to hear her story, to understand her pain. As the temperature dropped and shadows lengthened, Jake knew he had to act quickly to free her spirit. He searched the asylum for anything that could help, eventually finding a dusty, old switchboard in the basement. There, he connected the wires, hoping to create a link between the living and the dead. Holding the receiver, he whispered into the void, offering Alice the solace she never found in life. The whispers grew to a crescendo, then abruptly stopped. Jake felt a rush of air, as if a presence had finally been released. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, leaving behind an eerie silence. As Jake left the asylum, his phone remained still. The calls had stopped. He hoped Alice had found peace, but he knew he would never forget the haunting experience. The memory of the silent caller and her desperate whispers would linger, a reminder of the thin veil between our world and the next. That night, Jake slept soundly for the first time in weeks, but at 2:13 am, his phone rang again. Groggy and confused, he answered it, expecting the familiar silence. Instead, a sinister voice filled the line, deeper and more menacing than before. "Thank you for freeing me, Jake. Now, it's your turn to take my place." The call ended abruptly, and Jake felt an icy chill spread through his body. He tried to move, but found himself paralyzed. His vision blurred, and he saw the ghostly figure of Alice standing at the foot of his bed, a twisted smile on her face. "Goodbye, Jake," she whispered, her voice echoing through his mind. Jake's phone fell to the floor, his body rigid and lifeless. The phone rang again, and this time it was Jake's voice that answered, pleading for help. The cycle had begun anew, with Jake trapped forever, the latest silent caller, reaching out to anyone who dared to listen. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling content.